Gamebreaker TV.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first official Gamebreaker Hearthstone League tournament. We are all the way into the semifinals of our first tournament spanning 2 weeks. Duelists have come from all over the place to get ready, and we're here to bring you their matches. Joining me today to help cast these amazing tournaments are the one and only Jeremy Queck, also known as Squishy. How's it going?
How's it going? Pretty good. Really excited for these matches. We had the Swiss tournament last week, and so ready for the semis now.
Wonderful, wonderful. Here we go. And also joining us as well, Mr. Kyle Lamphere, also known as Sophist. How's it going, Sophist?
Hello. How's it going? Good, good. I can't wait to get started. These are some pretty competitive decks. Looking at these lists, good games. I can feel it.
So before we get into this, we've had, obviously this is a 2-week tournament. The qualifiers were last week. We had 32 players going head-to-head in a Swiss tournament. What did you guys think about the qualifiers and how these went? Where are the strong decks lying here in our semifinals going into today's matches?
Well, not against the meta per se, but we have seen 2 Shaman decks emerge from this, which is not something that's usually seen in play mode, and so I'm really interested to see how they're going to do in this matchup.
What do you think, Sophist?
Yeah, I mean, what you see here in the semifinals is actually we have 4 different classes playing, so it's actually kind of unique. Whereas I was just paying attention to some of the other tournaments, and lately the metagame has kind of been aggro, warlock. If you're not playing a warlock, why are you not playing a warlock type thing? And to see all sorts of, I think the Shaman does well against that, which is why I think we saw some Shamans do really well in this tournament.
And we'll be seeing a Warlock come second match, but our first matchup here is IVS playing on his Shaman against Blues playing on his Hunter. So where do you think here? This is going to be an interesting matchup here between the two. You know, obviously the Shaman has got the totem power, but Rexxar also has the ability for the constant attrition of the 2 damage to the hero. Where do you think the power is going to lie between these 2 champions, or these 2 heroes?
This Hunter deck is actually kind of an oddball. If you had a chance to take a look at it, it's actually a Hunter secret deck. That's not something you see a lot ever, and it's done really well. So I don't even know how to really quantify this against a Shaman. I think the Shaman's kind of is where my heart's at in this one. I think that's just a very, very smooth deck. This Hunter relies on things like he needs his weapon. He needs you to play into his secrets. If you do that, he's probably going to win. But it definitely relies on your opponent playing into your hands.
Do you think that they obviously here with these secret cards, is that something that is going to be able to handle the constant totem pressure that the Shaman brings? Because that's where if you don't have the board clear to deal with a Shaman, that's when they get really out of control, is when they start bringing so many totems to the match.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Squishy.
Hunter, not really known for its board clear, and especially with a secret Hunter deck, there's really a lack of consistency in a secret Hunter deck. You either draw what you need or you don't. And so it's going to be interesting to see if he can pull it out or not, basically based on what he draws.
Yeah, and he doesn't have too much. He doesn't have too much draw in this deck either. He's got, I believe, the Buzzard, which will and can work if out there early and he's able to protect it. And he also has the Gadgetzan Auctioneer, I believe. So, I mean, they become priority targets to someone with like the Shaman who has in his deck a decent amount of removal. So I kind of like the Shaman in this matchup.
So let's go early edge. Before we get into these matches, let's get out pre-predictions here. Where do you guys think the early edge lies between IVS or Blues? Are we going with the Hunter or are we going with the Shaman?
I'm going Shaman. There's a part of me that wants to see the Hunter do well because it's a Hunter secret deck, which you never see. But I think the Shaman's just the more consistent deck. It's a tempo deck. It's easier for him to kind of curve out into what he wants to do.
Squishy, where are you going?
I would pretty much have to agree. It's definitely going to be more consistent. If the Hunter happens to draw what he needs, we may see a turn, but it's probably not going to happen that often.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I feel like on principle, I have to just sit here and root for blues. Come on, Hunters. Band together. Let's go ahead and get started with this and just get the first match underway because we got a best of 3 match coming up here. First match in the semifinals. And let's just go ahead and take right to the game and get things started. So we'll just kind of put the sound up here. And as the players kind of prepare for their matches, we will get underway. A little bit of pre-game smack talk by saying good luck, have fun. No, you're supposed to hate thy enemy.
Good luck, have fun, don't die.
All right, let's take a look here at the starting hand for Thrall.
Snap keep. Interesting. I would have thought maybe to send back one of those taunt wolves, but maybe
keeping 2 is really interesting because you can't play them directly in sequence because you'll be overloaded, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it sets you up for some board clear, but I guess they don't have that on the Hunter.
Rexxar not able to really pull anything off here. However, just going to pass it over to IBS. IBS only has a couple of cards here he can play if he wants to actually use his coin. Oh, here.
Goes back. Yeah, if I'm him on that turn, I'm not really too interested in doing too much. Not really trying to force the issue there.
So not much going on so far.
No, Thrall just basically throwing out a totem, some early damage going out from the Hunter's hero power. Taunt card goes down with his Iron Fur Grizzly.
That Iron Fur Grizzly might have been the best choice there.
Yeah, that was definitely the best random pick that he could get here out of all of them. 4/4 for 3 plus taunt. That's definitely a beast. Get it?
Yeah, it keeps him... God damn it. It keeps you out of range of things like the axe that's in the Shaman's hand, lightning bolts. He forces a 2-for-1 with that Grizzly Bear, so that's actually really impressive.
Looks like he's gonna go ahead and take it.
That was a freezing trap. So he's opting to send that wolf back to his hand if he decides to actually attack with it. That's definitely an interesting choice. I mean, maybe he wants to save the explosive trap for when there's more totems, but we'll have to see what his response is. Sorry.
I think explosive trap is not really the choice there because he's not going to get anything but one healing totem. This will be interesting to see.
And here comes the secret on the freezing trap there.
That is an expensive wolf in hand.
Very, very expensive, yes.
It looks like it appears
is he gonna
to
get
be
lucky
the Hunter
again?
is the Blues is being able to draw, these constant traps now, just drawing his snake trap as well. Being able to kind of keep those on the board is going to be super helpful.
Yeah, what I think you want to... What do you think you want to look for here is the amount of cards that the Shaman has at his disposal right now. If this Hunter can't keep up with card draw, he might be in trouble. Just because I think the Shaman's going to be able to survive this initial onslaught.
Forked Lightning going out there, taking out a good amount there of the snakes from the snake trap. Not leaving the Hunter with much of a defense.
I mean, taking a look at the Hunter's hand, he really doesn't have that much in terms of valuable cards at the current time. I mean, he has 2 explosive traps, but the Hunter's playing conservatively. He's not overextending. He's doing well to pretty much defeat the secrets.
I don't think the Shaman's too worried right now at 18 health either. I think he doesn't really need to get worried. It's not the Hunter deck that says it's turn 8, I'm going to kill you. So he's got time. He's not worried. The Hunter's not really worried at this point. If he can manage to get some card draw, he's still actually in a very good spot, being that he has his opponent at 17 health. And the constant pressure of his hero power, being able to put a timer on this game, whether it being a long timer or not.
Shaman drawing a
As you
fire
go back, you
elemental
actually
card.
see. Yeah, you actually saw the Hunter right before you flip back here drawing that Buzzard. If he can combo that out with a couple of beasts, say he plays that out and is able to protect it while the snakes come out, could be valuable card draw.
Good use of the Wrath of Air Totem there. Got lucky, managed to just 1-for-1 the Gadgetzan Auctioneer there without having to expend anything else.
Down goes the Buzzard and the Timberwolf, buffing up that Buzzard, allowing him to draw an additional card. The Honey Crab also throwing down that Honey Crab, which is going to let him draw another.
I assume he will play a taunt minion here, most likely the Crab, trying to protect his Buzzard and that Wolf, and allowing hopefully another round of card draw. He could go Explosive Trap here.
Explosive Trap would wipe the board.
Yeah, Explosive Trap looks maybe like...
Looks like he is going to throw down the Houndmaster, throwing down a taunt, passing the turn over to the Shaman. No attacks. All those were just dropped.
Seeing the importance of that Buzzard, first thing attacked. That Argent Commander, really, really, really good card. It gives you value almost immediately. It does a lot of things well. It protects itself, it comes down, allows you to basically remove something, and hopefully have him up for the next turn.
Hunter trying to get his monsters back on the field after losing 4 of them in just one single turn. Throwing down a trap and throwing his hero power. He's got a lot of advantage. He's going to start... Thrall's in trouble here. Thrall only has 7 health to Rexxar's 26. At this point, Blues can just start using his hero power to constantly add pressure, and he might be able to take the game unless Thrall's able to pull something out here very fast.
Yes, that Hunter hero power really he's gonna be needing to use that to his advantage at this point, because this is where that game is gonna start turning. Just the amount of card advantage and the pressure he's now able to put on the Hunter.
Thinking about that steady shot. There goes the steady shot for the first. There's 2 taunts down. At most, this might last only 3 more turns, unless IBS can come up with some form of heal. He is a Shaman after all. He might be able to keep himself in there.
Do we remember? I off the top of my head, I don't remember what that secret is. Is that the snake trap?
He only plays one snake trap in his deck, so it probably would. It's a misdirection. So it's
throwing down another explosive trap though.
Okay, misdirection, explosive trap. If he's smart, I don't even know what he does.
He's really low on health due to using a lot of weapons. Usually that's all right, but against a Hunter, he's in deep trouble right now.
Going with an
if
Earth
that
Shock
misdirection
over there.
goes off on him, he's in deep trouble.
Only able to follow up here with 1 Spirit Wolf. But does he dare
oddly enough,
activate those traps?
Oddly enough, his best play here is to pass turn and hope he gets a low... fill the board up and hope the misdirect doesn't hit himself in his face, I think, at this point.
I
hits himself
honestly
in the
think
face.
that's the best idea.
Activating, there comes the misdirection.
Oh!
And he is dead.
There
That
goes
is
the
an unfortunate
misdirection.
turn of events.
And that will be game right there, coming from behind. Who would have expected on that match, early game lead, actually, advantage going to the Shaman, turning it around there at the very end, and kind of you guys were doubting those trap cards, but I've got to say I think all of those secret cards were really what kept Blues in the match there.
I'm impressed. I am really impressed that was able to do so well. This is actually the first game in this entire tournament that Ives has lost.
Wow.
I don't know if anyone's kept track of that.
Yeah, I mean, the Shaman has really good early clear weapons. He has the 2 damage Stormforged Axe, which is a 2 damage, 3 durability, and also the Rockbiter weapons, which is really, really good removal, and usually you can do that because you have the resource of health, and as long as it's not 0, you're fine. But then the constant pressure of the Hunter's hero power just adds on to that, and he just took too much damage in the face from attacking.
Well, and that's the big problem is I think that IBS went on the offensive very early with equipping weapons and attacking straight with his hero and giving IBS the early game in terms of lead, and once you get down sub 15 health in the late game when 2 mana isn't really a card anymore, and the hunter is able to not only lay down cards on top of laying down that steady shot, you're really putting yourself in danger in terms of what you're able to sustain without any heal cards being drawn.
Yeah, I think he did a very, very good job. Most people, when they play this game, you just get in the habit of play cards, keep the board filled. You control the board, fill the board up. He did a really nice job of saying, if I keep this 2 mana for this steady shot, that puts pressure on him. It may not seem like it in the first few turns, but come late game, we saw the effect that had. He was down to 7 health and had to make a tough decision at this point, whereas early game, he said, it's not a big deal. I'm going to keep hitting these things in the face, clear his board. And now all of a sudden, he's in trouble because he's just too low. Like, he had the card advantage, he had the better cards in hand, but couldn't pull it out because of that. That's slowly bleeding your opponent out from the hunter.
What's IBS going to do to respond to this? Obviously, maybe a little rattled after this first match. Clearly, we gave him the early advantage. However, he didn't seem to be able to handle that. And now he's going to probably have to try and make some sort of adjustments in play style to respond to this secret deck. What do you guys think that's going to be?
I think just taking less damage in the face. He used both Rockbiter weapons on himself to kill things. He had a Stormforged Axe, which he used 3 times on monsters, meaning he took that damage to the face. Just less attacking and taking things in his face. I think that'll work.
Yeah, I think something along the lines of using his lightning bolts or his spells or his minions more so, knowing that this hunter's not afraid to just say, you know what, I've got 2 mana, I don't need to put this card down, I'm going to shoot you in the face and let that damage add up. I think that's, Squishy said it, hit the nail right in the head, that's where this guy wants to make his changes.
All right, well, we're going to get right back here with our second match right after this commercial break, so stay with us and we'll have our second match underway shortly. We'll be right back with Hearthstone Tournament action, but first, I want to tell you guys about Shutterstock.com. Shutterstock is a must-have tool for anyone in the creative industry. With over 20 million high-quality stock photos, illustrations, vectors, and video clips, Shutterstock helps you take your creative projects to the next level. Injecting your website with some instant credibility is easy to do when using Shutterstock. Whether you need still photography, stock footage, or even art assets for a website or YouTube channel, Shutterstock.com is the place to be. If you guys don't believe us, I promise the creative industry uses Shutterstock all of the time. Just this last weekend, if you go and see Marvel's new comic book movie, Thor: The Dark World, and stay until the end to catch the teaser, be sure to keep an eye out at the bottom of the credits. Right there at the bottom, you'll see that even Marvel ended up using Shutterstock. Shutterstock is a great tool used all over popular media, and is a great resource to have in any content creator's Swiss Army knife. You can try Shutterstock today without using a credit card by signing up for a free account, and you can save all of your favorite images to a lightbox to review them later. Once you're ready to purchase, if you use the offer code GAMEBREAKER1213, you'll receive 25% off your new account. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Hearthstone League. We are in match 2 of our first round of semifinal matches coming at you guys right now. We've kind of already chatted about what to expect. We got a little bit of, not an upset, but rather a surprise between IBS and Blues. Blues coming out of nowhere with his secret deck, and it's going to be an interesting match. It's going to be really interesting to kind of see where this goes in this future match. So let's just jump into it. We've already talked about what we need to expect and see from IBS to adjust, and let's just jump into it and see how this match goes and see how things go. So while these guys get started, what do you guys think? What do you guys think is going to be the edge here? Do you think IBS is going to know enough to kind of make an adjustment here? We chatted a little bit about what he needs to do. Is he going to take our unsolicited advice?
Yeah, I mean, I also think the immediate 4/4 taunt from Rexxar really hurt Ives' ability to get out to a strong start. So unless you see that again, I think you might actually see Ives kind of show how strong his deck is early game.
It looks like we have Thrall here with a Flame Tongue Totem. I missed what the other two were, but also then drawing his signature Wolves.
Yeah, so he's got a Defender of Argus and a Shattered Sun Cleric, which are all rely on having other minions out there already. So yeah, it looks like he's going to want to try and fill up his board with either totems and then help buff the totems with those cards.
Looks like IBS is going to play his coin.
It's that 4/2. It's no Misha, but still definitely some damage. Again, applying damage to the face early. So he's kind of sticking to his guns.
This time, though, looks like he has a response. Uses the Shattered Sun Cleric to get value out of that totem and knock out that 4/2.
Yes, and turning the volume down. Always important.
Yes, the volume is a little bit too loud for us over here.
Oh,
but it appears that Blues is just gonna be relentless there, throwing down another boar.
That is another. I think he may be happy here to just trade the 3/3 with the 4/2, and play out some taunt minions now.
He needs some damage control. That's what he needs.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I could see that being smart.
Feral Spirits will sit there and hold his monsters at bay, and allowing him to kind of get a little bit back, a little bit of a trade back onto IBS or Blues' health.
Yes. What's he got in here for a choice?
At this point, with
we might see the freezing trap again.
He's 1 mana short for explosive trap, which is unfortunate because that would take out most of that. But
throwing down a freezing trap, he might actually follow up there. There it is with the hero power, and then he's at a risk here. If he goes the route of attacking with this boar, he's gonna lose it.
Interesting choice there. I honestly, at this point, if it may be better to attack. Normally, I say attack with the lower attack minion here first, but getting another use out of the Shattered Sun Cleric might actually be the way to go.
Going down a Flame Tongue Totem, but he is going to activate that secret freezing trap. That's going to throw that Shattered Sun Cleric back in the hand.
Exactly. He's also going to be able to get a buff again from that card, so not the worst thing in the world. Kind of, I think he expected something along those lines from the Hunter there. Now he just needs to do some damage control, clear the board, and throw some minions out there again. And
not going to throw any minions. Just going to throw a kill command down on the Flame Tongue, and then follow up with the hero power again. Problem here is without anything on the board, that 2 damage from his hero power is going to fall drastically behind by comparison of the minions that IBS is going to be able to lay down here.
Yeah, and I'm not sure his minions that he's throwing out on the board are gonna be within range of that explosive shot. Or I'm sorry, the explosive trap that is explosive shot. So he might be able to clear up at least one of these. Keeps him decent power off the board.
Yeah, the problem right now, playing a Hunter Secret deck, he has no secrets in his hand. That's usually not a good thing when you're playing this type of deck.
Not a good thing, and life totals are even now, and this is about where you kind of expect the Shaman to start taking over the game. He fills up his board a little bit, and he now has a Bloodlust in his hand, so I would say we're only 1 or 2 turns away from Shaman victory, if not handled very well from this Hunter.
This would be a very fast turnaround for IBS if he's able to turn around a match only about 7 or 8 turns in. But he's definitely got the minions on the board.
Yeah, he's going to try and draw something good here. He really needs some sort of secret. Going to get a bunch of card draw.
But
is he going to stun him?
Unfortunately, I don't... Maybe the freezing trap helps, but I don't know if that's enough.
Gonna throw down that freezing trap, finish off his mana. It's gonna end his turn. But now here, the real question, does IBS sit and take out his minions, or does he just skip over? If he hits that freezing trap with his Flame Tongue Totem, that would be an easy way to bypass his trap there and get an extra 8 damage. But it looks like he's going to turn around, take that freezing trap on his Spirit Wolf.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. Does he go for the board clear? I think here that's just the smart thing to do.
Especially
he's got to
with
get rid of those
Chain Lightning in
buzzards. With both those buzzards on the field, as Squishy pointed out, he's right by IBS will sit there and be able to fish for all of the secrets he needs by keeping those buzzards on the board. So getting rid of them was definitely the way to go.
Yep, and playing it safe here, again, just threatening that if you don't have an answer for any of the stuff this turn, I'm just going to win. That's kind of what's going on at this point, so...
That silence is...
helps. This seems to be the issue with a lot, not just the Secret Hunter deck, most Hunter decks. They play really well from ahead. They don't necessarily play well from behind. They don't do enough to kind of get you back in games.
He's down to 10 health, 6 damage on the board, and looking at IVS's hand here, we do know that he has a Bloodlust to win the game.
And he's going to throw down that Bloodlust for the finish. A very quick turnaround there for IBS. So going now 1 for 1 across the board. I think that was a very big difference in the match that we saw the first time around. I think that, Blues definitely had a little bit more trouble this time around getting those secrets going off the bat. IBS, as we talked about, maybe kind of saw what happened a little bit the first time and realized he got too aggressive with his hero too early, which put him a little bit too low too fast. And it looks like he kind of made the right adjustments to keep the board in his favor. But I can't help but feel that, a big factor of that was there just weren't enough secrets falling into Blues' hand that time.
Right. And I think I covered it earlier. I mean, the Hunter Secret deck, or even Hunters in general, don't have that great draw power, except for the Buzzard. And as we covered in pregame, without the secrets, the Hunter Secret deck kind of falls flat. And Sophist also covered it during the game that Hunters don't play well from behind at all. Once they maintain and establish board control, they can win the game from there. But until then, they're going to have a pretty hard time getting it.
Yeah, I think something you want to pay attention to is the fact that he didn't get that 4/4 Misha out there, which kind of allowed him to slow down the Shaman and make the Shaman force some trades that he may not have wanted to take against an aggressive type deck, like Rockbiter weaponing himself, taking extra damage to the face that wasn't necessarily useful for the Shaman. The other thing you want to pay attention to is we haven't seen the Hunter weapon yet. Now, this is something that he can use along with his secrets to constantly keep removing cards and keep that advantage if he can grab it early in the game. I would look for that. Hopefully, see like that's something he's gonna want to see early in this next game. Is that Hunter weapon plus some secrets help him keep control of this game early. If you see that, I think you may actually have a chance at seeing Blues take this game in Game 3 and dealing Ives not only his first loss in the entire tournament, but maybe his first loss and only loss that he's going to experience.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I took a look at his deck list. He's only running one weapon, and I find that really odd for a Hunter deck that's based off of direct damage. We'll have to see how it plays out, though. I mean, one game to go.
One game to go. Real quick before we go to one more commercial break before the final match of this set. Where do you guys think the advantage lies now? We've seen both players turn around and win and play to their strengths and advantages. Does it really just lie in the luck of the draw there for Blues, or are you guys still giving the edge to Ives?
I still want to give the edge to Ives. I think his deck has less variance in it. It has the ability to constantly, deal with early threats. Like that's actually what his deck wants to do. He just didn't do it in Game 1. I think Blues is kind of more of the roller coaster ride here. But that's what you live with when you play a deck like that. So he's gotten that far with this deck. I don't see why he couldn't do it. I think the Shaman is much more consistent, and we'll probably see him in the finals.
I've got to agree 100% with Sophist. If the Hunter can draw great in his opening hand, we might see another Hunter victory. Otherwise, we're probably going to see a Shaman victory.
All right, everybody, well, lock yourselves in, put your hands in the air, get ready to ride this roller coaster, because match 3 is coming at you guys in just a couple minutes. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a great book to read, but just too on the go to sit down and read one? Then you should check out Audible.com. With hundreds of audiobooks available right now for download, have your favorite stories presented to you instead of reading a 300-page novel. With a plethora of video game-related topics to choose from, there's just about something for everyone, like the new Dawn of the Aspects book for World of Warcraft. If you head on over to audible.com/gamebreaker, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial, and you'll even receive a free audiobook to get started right now. We're super happy to have Audible.com sponsoring these Hearthstone tournaments, and by supporting them, you help ensure that we're able to do more. So if you're looking for great audiobooks to listen to on the go, head on over to audible.com/gamebreaker and start listening today.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Game 3, Match 1 of the Gamebreaker Hearthstone League. This has been an exciting back-and-forth duel between Blues and IBS for Game 1 of the championships, and it's only going to get more exciting from here. Joining me, talking about shoutcasting this tournament, Jeremy Quick, also known as Squishy, as well as Kyle Landfear, also known as Sophist. And we've kind of been chatting about this match. Real quick recap for people who are maybe tuning in now. Where do you guys think that the advantage lies here? We've talked about how Blues Hunter deck is very secret heavy. It's a kind of like a random roll of the dice, but we saw in Game 1 that if the dice roll in his favor, he's really kind of able to pull out all of the stops and pull a win where we're not expecting it. So where do you guys think that the advantage is going to lie this time around?
I think, like we said just prior to the commercial break, the advantage is with the Shaman, simply because there's less variance in his deck. He's able to more consistently draw the cards that he needs. But my heart is with the Secret Hunter deck. I kind of want to see him do really well. That's where I'm at right here.
Squishy, what about you?
Oh.
Your microphone might be muted.
You're right on that. I'm a derp. The Shaman deck, definitely a little more consistent, but I went over the deck list during the commercial break. He also has some variance in there. A lot of only 1 cards rather than 2, so a little more variance in the Shaman deck than I thought, and it's going to make it for a very, very interesting match coming up.
All right, well, we will see how this plays out, because Game 3, as we said, is going to be a roller coaster ride. So everybody with me, put your hands in the air. Here we go.
Doing it.
They're about to start it. Match 3. Underway, let's do this. All right, players getting started here. as
Lusty
they
Lust.
lock through all of their decks. I Heart Lust. Lusty Lust.
That's
What a
it.
great deck name.
That's where he's at. We saw why. We saw why he loves Lust in that last
Yes.
game. Absolutely.
So let's
Lust
take a
is
look
the
here.
best.
Let's take a look at here at Blue, or actually IBS's opening hand here. He's got a Fire Elemental, a Feral Spirit. He
Yikes.
draws a Ragnaros. Wait, that was,
Doesn't
not
quite
what
want
you want to
that.
see. No.
and it looks like actually, over here on Blues is actually going to dump his entire hand for a new hand, pulling out with.
He gets That is a tasty opening hand for Hunter. No secrets, but it might actually be able to play some early aggression with that regardless.
Nothing
Well,
early
there's
or nothing too early. Stormforge Axe coming out, throwing down a totem, passing it back over to IBS, pulling a Timberwolf. Now he's got at least the advantage to put down a minion, either the Timberwolf or throw down the coin. It looks like he's going to throw down the coin and then also throw down a 3-mana'd Animal Companion.
Yikes. Probably not what he wanted to see there. The 2/4 buff other minions. Normally very good in this deck. Not sure if that's what he wants where he wants to be. But he's going to force some choices from here. Does he want to risk taking the damage to the face again with that weapon, or is he going to want to remove this 2/4 through other means?
At this point,
This is an
I think he
interesting
might
choice.
want to play safe, throw down the 1/1 Divine Shield. That's at least going to guarantee himself 1 damage or some kind of significant removal from the Hunter.
Thinking about that Flame Tongue.
This is interesting. I think also what could be a decent play here is the damage silence, Flame Tongue Totem, hit him in the face with the taunt minion.
There goes down the 1/1. He looks like he's going to add the Rock Biter to himself and just take the damage up front to Thrall. We might be seeing a little bit. This is kind of where, IBS made a little bit of a mistake early on going on the offensive with his main hero.
Yeah, in this situation, it could work out for him. That's typically what this deck wants to do, anyways. So he just needs to be careful that if this Hunter starts applying pressure, he may need to back off and try and think of other ways to deal with things.
Hunter turning around, using his steady shot to apply even more pressure, not laying anything down. But the Hunter has a lot of stuff in waiting. It's kind of weird to see just the steady shot go out there instead of maybe a minion. But maybe he's waiting to the point where he can, come out this next turn here and lay down multiple low mana cost minions.
He's going to get very good value out of that Argent Squire now. It's now a 2/2 plus Divine Shield. It's going to be very, very difficult for Blues to remove here. The 1/1 Divine Shield, just so much value with, Shattersun Cleric, Defender of Argus.
Yeah, as you see there, it automatically just negates that 3 damage to the face because it's not going to do anything. It's going to pop his Divine Shield and you've wasted a removal card. So, yeah, here you're going to see this is exactly what this Shaman deck wants to do. If he draws Lust this next turn and this Hunter can't remove anything, he's in trouble.
Again, not drawing any traps here. He's got a lot of low mana cost monsters that he's going to try and play to set up a defense. Nothing. Oh, that Houndmaster might be able. Well, he can't actually play the Houndmaster, so he's not going to be able to lay down Taunt. And this is going to allow IBS to just kind of jump over his entire line of defense here.
He's making good card draw this time. Like, he has a good card advantage, but again, he has no secrets in hand, and a board full of weak minions that IBS can just make good trades here.
IBS there
I don't
trading
think
with
it's
his
looking
Divine
good.
Shield, losing that Divine Shield, but adding on another totem.
Interesting choice not to. Is that Fork Lightning in his hand?
No.
I can't
That's
see
lightning
what
bolt.
it is. Lightning. Okay, all right. That explains a lot more.
This very well could be it. There's so much on the board here that Blues is going to have to take care of.
And sadly, Hunters don't exactly have premium AoE removal. I think sadly we may be seeing the end of this Hunter's run. I
And
think
this
lethal's
is-
on the board, so
This is where I see the true power. Oh, I thought we were going to see a concede. This is where I see the true power in the Shaman deck and just being able to get so much on the board so fast on top of your totems, on top of your spells. It really, and obviously being able to come across there with all of the power. And actually, that's going to be enough to throw the game. Very, very quick match there in the match 3 of our our first round of our semifinal tournaments. IVS on his Shaman, Blues on his Hunter, but IVS just being able to throw everything to the wind there against Blues. Now, again, we kind of talked about this in between the during the second match. We saw a great match out of the gate for Blues with all of his traps. I don't think we saw a single trap in match 3. Secret. My apologies. Secret.
no.
In game 3. And that was huge, especially coming in with such a trap or a secret heavy deck. I keep wanting to call it trap, but it's secret.
Secret cards.
Secret trap.
There's a secret keeper. there was a secret keeper. But
I mean,
there
wasn't even the roller coaster. It was like I put my hands in the air.
No.
I was all excited for the ride of a lifetime, and it was over in an inch.
It really
Nothing.
seemed
It
to
was
be-
just didn't ever get started. It was just you saw exactly why we were harping so much on variance, and it relies number one on a handful of cards, that some of which he only runs one of. Number two, those cards don't always work how you want them to, because 9 times out of 10 they rely on your opponent playing into them. I think he did very well for a Hunter Secret deck. I didn't even know that really existed. I didn't know that you could build a deck around that. And to show off that he not only he made it to the semifinals, and he gave the number 1 seed in this tournament his first game loss the entire tournament. So he had a really good showing, and I actually applaud him for what we call in other communities brewing. He brewed a deck. He came up with this. I'm sure this is something like he just said, I'm going to do something silly. I'm going to take it to a tournament, and we're going to. Not only is it going to be fun to play, it actually is going to win some games. I applaud him. I think he did very well. I think he did really, really well for that deck.
Now, what do you guys think here? Looking ahead,
Yeah.
obviously with IVS taking it into the finals now, we have Eldorian and Nico's story coming up on a Warlock Mage. Where is IVS hoping the victor to lie here? Where does he have the advantage in comparison? Does he want the Warlock to pass, or does he want the Mage to pass, based on what we've seen from his deck?
I'm thinking he wants this Warlock. This Warlock, he kind of, what that deck does is able to deal with the early aggression and then punch through some damage late game. We saw that with this Hunter. The Hunter did still, regardless of being a secret deck, still relied on having a good, solid early game. And his Shaman deck seems to deal with that as best as it can, survive, and then fill the board up in Bloodlust, or play something like a Ragnaros, which you saw only in the opening hand. This is not when you want to see Ragnaros. Or play Ragnaros and just say, deal with it. There's no priest left in this tournament, so no one's going to go and mind control this Ragnaros. So there's no threat, really. The worst thing someone's going to do is kill it. So I think he's hoping for this Warlock deck, and not really wanting to deal with the control of a Mage.
Yeah. The other thing is the Mage. I'll have to check again, but it may just be a Spellburn deck, meaning you just need to outrush the Mage to win, and that deck really isn't meant for rushing at all. Not even close. Meaning he probably doesn't want that. Wants to go for the Warlock, can survive, and then, like Sophus said, he also has Alakir, which is also a very good late game card. So lots of late game options. He just needs to control the aggression early.
All right, well, we will have the next match in our finals coming up. Like I said here, we will have Eldorian on his Warlock versus Nico Story on his Mage. That match will be coming here in just a minute. However, we need to take a break to get the stream switched over and get everything up and running. So stay with us. We will be back right after this.